everyone gets AT&T's best deal on the new iPhone 14 Pro with the incredible camera. So, people currently listening to comedy podcasts, and people listening to political podcasts, and people listening to true crime podcasts who actually can't stop listening to true crime podcasts and it's ruling their lives. The point is, everyone, new and existing customers. Ask how to get up to $800 off the new iPhone 14 Pro with eligible trade-in. Visit att.com or our stores for details. Terms and restrictions may apply.
To research because I want to know what I would expect for myself. Thirdly, which is the thing that really gave me a wake-up call, which I think is important to share with those of you who are thinking of achieving FIRE. It said this thing where the people who are capable enough to achieve FIRE at a young age, the keyword here is young age, it means that you're able to financially independent, retire early at like 30 plus. These are the people who ironically will feel the most miserable when they really FIRE. FIRE, right? Because why? So you think logic is because if you're capable enough to achieve FIRE at a young age, it means you probably have...
Hello and welcome back to Chill with TFC. My name is Andrew, and on the last episode, we had a chat with Max Cole, a speaker and trainer by profession, a retail investor who manages his own money, and you can tell from the conversation that he really loves Cai Fan, which is economy rise in Singapore. He also became a millionaire at age 29. It's been about 3 years since achieving that goal, and in this episode, let's find out how life after 1 million is like. What do people not know or misunderstand about this journey towards financial freedom? What's his advice to people who want to achieve financial independence like he did? And how is he managing his investment portfolio right now? Stay tuned to find out. So in your journey to 1 million, you realize you are missing out on relationships.
I missed a lot, man.
Yeah.
I've missed so much. Yeah.
You mentioned regret, so you're trying to also try to catch up with friends right now. Be
for
more
lost
social,
time.
make up for it. Do you think you need to reach 1 million to come to this realization?
For me, I think yes, I needed that because due to the nature of my personality, obsessive tracker, I've always been very selfish about my time. Everything's about me. I want to, like, I kid you not, like, okay, I'm kind of hesitating because my friends hear this, they're going to be a bit more cautious, but okay, heck it, I'll just say it. So it got quite bad to the point when I was out with friends, right? The minute you bring up something that I don't feel like I'm growing or learning, no pressure, by the way, if we ever go out, like, you start talking about, like, Stranger Things or like Netflix and Queen's Gambit, whatever. In my mind, I'm like, okay, holy shit. Of course, I don't say it, right? Yeah, I was like, do you know? Of course, I don't say it. Like, yeah, do you know the amount of annual reports, the amount of books I can read in these 2 hours that you're telling me about Stranger Things? Come on, get over it. Like, so it's that bad. It's that calculative. But I guess when I look back at that journey, I guess I needed that because that's what gave me so much time that I really squeezed out every inch dry to build out that skills needed to invest and grow. And that's why I think this path is not for everyone. But now looking back, I realize that's so selfish, that's so superficial. And but quite frankly, do I still have these traits? Yes, I have. So please don't be cautious or whatever if you're talking to me and you realize my eyes are drifting. It's just me trying to fight the inner demon. So your question is, do I have looking back, do you think I needed that journey? Which is the emphasis is on I, needed that journey to hit 1 million because that's when I realized actually I have more time to allocate now to friends and I needed that. Yeah.
When everything is ROI, right? Return on investment, right? Of your time, right?
Yeah.
You fix yourself into a certain framework. I was listening to this podcast, finance podcast about investment. So the podcaster was saying that, what is your end goal for earning this amount of money, right? What for what, right? So he gave an example of like your wife wants you to buy her handbag, let's say a low 5 figures. Then you like so stingy about it because people who invest, right, treat every dollar. You see the multiples of it,
it's
right? It's all ROI, right? I spend $1, it means I can get back how much in the future. You've given 10 years. Do you feel that way? Yeah. Exactly. So it's like then you're missing the point. Like, if you can buy something for a wife, treat her to a nice dinner, and both of you are happy, and that's the more important goal, right?
Spot on. Yeah.
After earning the money. So it's like, okay, if we expand it further, your realization was on relationships. And some people say, after you achieve a certain amount of money, then you realize, money is not important. Do you think you need to achieve that goal before you realize that money is not important?
My answer is no. Because I think for me was the million helped me to realize that. But I think for some people, due to life or bad luck, whatever, they realize that due to the passing of a loved one whatsoever and stuff, right? So for me, I'm not going to go into the same story again. It was my grandma passing away that made me realize that actually, life is not all about money. I think to condense the story short was that in the greed or the path to achieve wealth, I kind of missed the last days that I could have spent with my grandma, and she's someone that I hold very close to my heart. I think the person that I love most in this world is my grandma, even though she's long passed away for a few years. And that helped me realize that. But perhaps it was a mixture of my grandma passing and $1 million that helped me to realize that. But to answer your question, no, you don't need $1 million to realize that. You can realize that whether it's through a podcast. But I guess for human beings, because we're always so locked into our own paradigms, you always need that. Just advice from a podcast, I don't know whether that's enough. Sometimes we need that strong shake-up that does a break in challenges everything that you believe, whether through a big regret that you can never ever kind of patch up, or this passing of a loved one, losing something dear to you that makes you realize that. So I think everyone's on their journey to discover. For me, it was ironically through money that made me realize I don't need money.
So what's the end goal? Or if the end goal is too far away, what's the next thing you're looking at? It might not be financial, like everything about your life. Like what's the next thing?
Yeah, there isn't any at this point. And I think I'll share something. So if you would just ask me this question 1.5 years back, I think by now the listeners will know I'm probably an extreme goal-getter. I would have answered you very confidently with a lot of conviction. Oh, my next end goal is so on and so forth. So of course, I think to be upfront, I have an end goal of growing it more than 7 figures at a certain age. But I don't want to openly mention this now because I think goals are fragile, at least for me. I'm not the kind that will publicly declare stuff. So that's for me to know. But so my job's not yet done for me from a financial point of view. But I think if you ask me specifically, like in the past, I would like, by this age, I want to be, which is my goal back then. By a certain age, I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to speak on stage. I want to have inspired 10,000 people. By this age, I want to be a millionaire. By this age, I want to blah, 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 right? But I think the turning point for me came was when I realized that, hey, all these planning and goals, right, it's just going to make me stuck into a certain way of viewing things. And there was this book that really changed my life, which I kind of posted on my social media a few days back. It's called Why Greatness Cannot Be Planned. I cannot talk about it enough. I'm like the absolute fanboy of this book. The author is called Kenneth Stanley. So to just condense the version short, this book, the essence of this book is that a lot of us in life, we think that we got to where we are because of hard work, skills, intelligence, and all that goal setting, whatever. But actually, in truth, while those things play a part, maybe they only move the needle with that 20%. The 80% still happens, a lot of it because of randomness, luck, serendipity, whatever you want to slot in with that. So my point is that book opened up my eyes because it gave the analogy. So this guy that wrote the book is a computer scientist. He gave the analogy of this maze. So just imagine my hands as a maze, and then there's 2 balls. The balls are the starting point. So the balls are programmed with AI. The goal of both balls is to reach the endpoint, but they have programmed behaviors that's a bit different. Ball A is programmed to reach the endpoint in as short a time as possible by doing going for the shortest path, which reminds you of us humans. If you want to reach $1 million, your goal is to always, first get a career that pays me 6 figures, then learn to invest. It's the shortest path, right? Straight line. Whereas the second ball is programmed to also reach the endpoint, but it's not to take the shortest path. It's just to try something different that it didn't once try before. So for example, if let's say the ball moves, because the maze is not a straight line, right? It's like this, right? So if the ball does this action, it doesn't reach the endpoint, the next action it takes cannot be that same action. It has to move either diagonal, horizontal, but something that it didn't once do before. And so based on that, they do like a lot of simulations. 9 times out of 10, in a very high percentage of times, the second ball reached the end goal faster than the first ball. And of course, this is computer AI, you can say. It's not exactly human beings, because humans, we are a bit more emotional or very differently. But there's a lot more examples in the book. But that woke me up to the point where a lot of times in life, us trying to reach that goal shouldn't be the end outcome. The end outcome should be, yes, the goal still sets a direction, but you never know how randomness will happen that actually gets you to the endpoint faster. So that second ball actually reached the endpoint because that first ball, because a maze is zigzag, right? So if you keep taking the shortest path, you will hit the wall. And then what's going to happen? You're still trying to hit the wall because you're always trying to take a shorter path. Whereas in reality, you may need to take a step back and take a longer path that could eventually get you there a lot faster, ironically. So to answer the question in a very long-winded way, today myself is, I just want to, I would say invest a lot more time in people. I would say do more random things. I say yes a lot more to friends, family, and then see where life takes me from there, which is, I would say, so I still have a direction, but nothing concrete in terms of age and anything that, I want to do this 10 million and whatsoever and all that thing.
You're not so fixated on the financial number anymore, right?
Yeah.
And you're letting serendipity play out more in your life by saying yes.
Correct.
What else do you do to let, life take on a more natural course and see whatever happens?
So I actually saying yes is in itself a very broad answer to a lot of things, right? So I say yes to more activities because I'm the most routine, habitual person ever. I never say yes to other things that go beyond my habits,
What's
right?
something random you've done recently?
Oh, so like I think the most recent random crazy example is I went around Singapore. So I have a very sweet tooth, it's a bit of weakness myself. So I kind of one day just ate like it's gonna be very embarrassing.
I don't know, ice cream.
A cream cheese bun, you know, the raisin cranberry cream cheese bun.
Oh, you wrote an analysis.
Yeah.
This guy very analytical. Kim cheese one also must analyze one.
from Bread Talk or I think some bakery, and I kind of like fell in love with a cream cheese bun because I haven't had it for some time. So I kind of had this addiction or whatever. I suspect I'm secretly pregnant, but like sweet tooth, right? So after I had the cream cheese bun, the first cream cheese bun, I thought, wow, this cream cheese bun, it sucks. I'm not going to say which bakery, but like I believe there's going to be better cream cheese buns out there. So from then on for the next like 1 or 2 months, every bakery I go by, even the neighborhood bakery that's like not the branded kind, I will walk in and see whether there's a cream cheese bun and I will buy it. And across like a period of like I think 1 month, 2 months, I ate like I think more than 15 cream cheese buns across the island, and I kind of found my verdict, which I'm not going to say because go read my post itself. But like so those are like random shit. So I guess the best phrase to put it is I'm letting my curiosities drive me forward rather than just my goals and everything. But to be fair, I'm still working hard, I'm still hustling, I still have a job because I have a financial goal or number that's nowhere near where I want it to be. And number two, I think the bigger goal from a direction point of view, I want to be inspiring and speaking because I know that's my bread and butter. That's what I'm really good at, speaking, teaching from stage. So I still want to be speaking, teaching even when I'm old. I want to die a teacher. It sounds very morbid, but that's what makes me very happy in life. I think it's super stupid to if and very unwise if like, oh, my gravestone shows like, hey, you know what, here died a guy with X million in the bank. That's so stupid, right? I think for me, I want to die with my graveyard showing the word like teacher. And I think whatever I teach, whether it's life skills, whether it's personal development, whether it's spiritual stuff, what have you, I just want to use my speaking abilities and my gifts, I would say I've been blessed with, to just teach and inspire more people to just achieve the life that they find more meaning and fulfillment with.
You're still working right now, right?
Yeah.
So after your million, you took a short break.
Yeah.
And then knowing you cannot rest.
Yeah.
So what kind of work are you doing right now? And you mentioned it's, I see two forces driving you. One is, of course, still your financial goals. And the other aspect of it is because you see yourself as a teacher and that's how you want to contribute, right?
Yeah.
And you've been doing that before you reach your million.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
Yeah. So how has these two goals, evolved and changed? Yeah.
Actually, it's still the same. To answer what I'm doing now, I'm actually doing a mixture of stuff. So I'm still doing my previous role of speaking, teaching, training, which is what I love to do so much because just the feeling of having someone tell you like, hey, thanks for that one line or that story that you said that changed my life. To me, that's worth more than $1 million. So money can't buy that feeling, right? So I'm also doing like some consulting and some, I would say, coaching for other speakers and trainers and stuff. And then I'm also running a mini investing course purely out of passion. You can see everything goes back to teaching and just helping others and just fulfilling that need to talk, right? And then also doing a lot of reading in the annual reports and stuff. So I think now that you brought it up, right? So those goals haven't really changed much. I still want to speak. I still want to inspire from stage, and I still want to build my wealth through investing. Yeah, but I think just now you asked something which kind of triggered me, right? Like, and it is like, why did I still continue to work even after crossing that million? Like, how's life after $1 million? So me being the nerdy person by now, it's so obvious, right? Before I actually hit my million, I actually went online to forums and a whole bunch of articles to research people who achieved FIRE. So I think FIRE, your audience is definitely very aware of it, right?
Financial independence, retire early. Technically, you could retire.
Yeah,
and you don't spend a lot or so.
Yeah, so technically I could, right? So the FIRE crowd. So I went to Google and I really went down the entire rabbit hole to find out all these people who left jobs from like Amazon, Facebook, and these are like tech engineers with like a big portion of their stocks in these companies that are able to cash out. They're one of like the early employees, right? All of them that went through FIRE, and I see a unanimous answer. Almost everyone found that they lost meaning and purpose, unanimously, everyone. So that gave me a warning sign. Number two, which is something interesting to think about for all of you who are thinking about like, I can just tell my boss to F off and give him the middle finger and throw in the letter, and after that actually it's not so simple, right? In the sense where all of them by the third or fourth month, no matter how much money they have in the bank, put the purpose aside, everyone start to feel panic. And these are guys who are 10 times richer than me, by the way, 10, 20 times, like have a few million in the bank, some of them maybe even like 9 figures, whatever. They start to feel panic because when they see their net worth going down, Even though you think logically, there's no way you can finish spending 100 million in this lifetime. Unless, of course, you are like,
you could lah. Okay, give it to me. I show you how to spend it.
Right? So like, I mean, but if you're like just a normal lifestyle, and I'm not saying like you scrimp and you save like normal lifestyle, you can still get by well, right? But all of them face panic. And the conclusion from that was human beings, we are wired to need to at least earn some money, even if it's not a lot. And the reason is because when you see your stockpile declining,
you get scared.
You get scared, and you have to go and hunt the mammoth or the tiger or the lamb for food, whatever. So it's the same thing, right? So that was the second conclusion I came to. So I went down the rabbit hole to research because I want to know what I would expect for myself. Thirdly, which is the thing that really gave me a wake-up call, which I think is important to share with those of you who are thinking of achieving FIRE. It said this thing where the people who are capable enough to achieve FIRE at a young age, the keyword here is young age, it means that you're able to financially independent, retire early at like 30 plus. These are the people who ironically will feel the most miserable when they really FIRE. FIRE, right? Because why? So you think logic is because if you're capable enough to achieve FIRE at a young age, it means you probably have a lot of ambition, have a lot of goals and competence. So these inner traits within you, after you FIRE, it's not going to like, hey, now I'm a millionaire, boom, suddenly these traits are gone, I'm now some
lazy bum at the beach.
It's still going to be there, right? So inherently, it makes a lot of sense. Like these traits will still be here. So the people who are able to FIRE at a young age, ironically, will not be happy firing at a young age. And I was like, wow, like boom, paradigm shift. And so it's true lah. Like so after I achieved that, I realized that there's a mental peace of mind. Like I said, it's like sleeping on a very fat pillow. I feel very comfortable, but like there's still that lack of purpose. I also felt that money dwindling down for the first month, and then I just went back to doing everything I could do to kind of like bring it back up. And number three, I wasn't happy just staying at home and just doing nothing. And I tried that for a month. So
and you went back to work. Do you think it's tied to your identity? Having a career, because if you are retired, what do you have to base on your identity, who you are?
Could be, right? So now we're back to
your
the
position in this
labels.
society, right, in the world.
It could be. But I think another thing, so I wouldn't deny that. I think maybe that played a role. I think another thing is just, I feel that human beings, you're wired to need to feel useful. So it's like, me drawing a paycheck and me being able to, like, I start my own investing course, I still make money, right? The money that I make, it's not so much for spending purposes, though I spend it, but it's more from it tells me what is the usefulness of the worth I have in society with the amount of money that I can bring in terms of a paycheck. I don't know whether that makes sense. Like, it's like, there's like a scorecard to see how useful am I worth to society in the sense of the value that I bring to the table. That's the money that I make back in return, right? Yeah. So, I guess that's why I'm still going at it. And quite frankly, I just feel that it's something that's core to my belief. So an early mentor of mine when I was very young is a Buddhist master. I'm going to use a bit of Chinese here, but I'll translate. So he said to me that something I still remember till today. He said that in life, like 你可以做一个没有钱的人，但是你不可以做一个没有用的人。Right, so it's like saying like, in life you can be someone with no money, but you cannot be someone with no value to society. And I thought that was so true. Like, you can be someone who is poor and everything, but if that person is still contributing, working hard, adding value to the economy, to society, I think that's still a life that's meaningful looking back, because life is not just about monetary status, whatever. So to me, that's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm only 32. If I really go retire now and I go live by the beach and bum around, whatever.
What are you going to do? Yeah.
Number one, what am I going to do? That's for a selfish reason. Number two, I think this is going to sound a bit more zoomed out. I think I'm going to be wasting this life. So it's like I'm not useful as a person, so I cannot live with that, because I think 32, going to travel and not doing anything to add value to society is very stupid. And number three, and this is going to sound a bit on a moral high horse, but I genuinely believe this. I think I'm able to get to where I am today because of how the society I've been brought up in, which in my case it's Singapore, has offered the opportunities and platforms needed for me to develop this society. Because I think, like, this society is developed such that not everyone can excel at this game, but I was able to play the cards in this favor that I'm excelling at this society. So to me, I feel a certain sense of responsibility to still be working to kind of contribute to the economy, whether it's via income taxes, whatever. It's going to sound really stupid, but in a way to give back to the economy or the platform so that it can continue to develop other people like me, or like other people who may not have a chance at life, but the society offers them a level playing field to rise up. So I feel it a bit of a moral obligation to also continue working so that I can give back to the society that brought me up. Because the people who were lucky enough like me to gain value from this society, I think you need to always give back in some sense to society. And I don't want to say this from a sense that, oh, I'm so noble, whatever. Like, this is really the last driving factor. The main two is more like the usefulness and the boredom part. But I think that's still something that it jives with my beliefs that the society that brought you up, you need to give back in some way so that the whole circle can continue running.
Yeah, now you have the space to explore how you could contribute back.
Yeah.
And there's so many stories of people who retired and then went back to work.
Yeah.
You also mentioned the stockpile. You know, last time I read, you mentioned the stockpile dwindling, whether it's 1 mil, 10 mil, 100 mil, right? And then you read all different, all people. Everybody have money problems, even the rich. You know, like, what the hell? Like, at my level, the rich got what problems then? But your point is that, even at 100 mil, if you see your stockpile dwindling, right, you still feel a bit scared. It's very primal, kind of innate nature.
Yeah. So I'm just to share something that you just reminded me. So, like, there's this famous quote, I think it was by Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey, like The Mask. Like, so when I was younger and obviously...
Right?
Correct. Yes, man. Ironically, the movie, So he made this quote that years ago I read when I was still young and broke and poor, which I'm sure a lot of people have read. And the quote was that, I hope that everyone can one day be rich and famous so that you realize that it doesn't solve your problems. I'm butchering the quote. I think he said it a lot smoother. So you realize that money and fame will not solve all your problems. And I was younger, I read that quote, I was like, my mind was like, hey, screw you, man. Like, what the hell? If I'm rich, easy for you to say, like, if I'm rich, trust me, I will have all the problems solved, man. Trust me on that. And then now when you are here, you're like, okay, it's true. I mean, I still go through the stress of all the admin stuff that I need to do, whether it's the house chores, whatever. Like, so being rich, even though you can buy time, you can like buy automation, you still go through the stress that most average people go through, even though you can take away some stress with the money that you can buy whatever stuff with. So I think the essence I forgot if the learning lesson here is that I think money solves all the money problems that you can have, and it leaves you with all the other problems that money cannot solve.
Right. So your stockpile took a hit during these 6 months. Markets are down.
Are the markets down, really?
Because you don't check.
It is.
Last time you checked once a week, now you don't check at all. Right. So of course you're still doing well above $1 million, but like you mentioned, when you see your stockpile dwindling, you still feel a bit panicky and all that. So how are you managing your portfolio right now?
Yeah. So I think I'm once again, like, in no credit of mine, very lucky. I have like a emergency fund of 1 year plus. I have a good friend that does 2 years. Actually, it's my co-partner in the investing course, Thomas. This guy does 2 years. Which weirdo does 2 years? But anyway, I have like a 1 year emergency fund. So thankfully, like, that's a very, because the typical is 6 months, right? But you now knowing my personality, it's like buffer. 1 year. So more buffer. So that helps me sleep really well at night. And number two, the good thing is, which is very similar to what I just shared just now, I have active income streams. I have active income that I'm still working for. I'm useful. So every month, I still see a decent 4 to 5 figures of income coming in. That makes me feel like, so like, even if the markets draw down, I don't feel that panic, because you can draw down whatever the hell you want, as long as, number one, these companies are not like fraudulent companies that will go to zero. They're not like speculative assets like coins or whatever. It's assets that are producing cash, right? So it's businesses, right? So as long as I know they're going to grow, they can do whatever the hell they want to do in the short term. But in the short to medium term, I have income coming in, so I'm able to pay my bills, pay my expenses, feed off myself and my family. Then, so I don't really feel that much of an influence by emotions. Or
I want to ask about the buffer first, the emergency savings, because I realize it is different for different people. So while you and Thomas, Thomas doesn't spend a lot also. So the emergency savings might be lesser per month. But when you say 2 months, then it could be somebody else's 6 months.
True.
So it depends also, right?
Yeah, correct. It depends. So
how you defining your emergency savings?
12 months worth of expenses on the worst case basis.
Worst case basis.
Yeah. Worth of monthly expenses on the worst case basis. So everything all in, my family's bills, my insurance, my what I pay my family, my mom, my dad, my income taxes, everything in, then times 12.
Okay. So continue to keep your expenses low and you still earn an active income. So you're not too worried when you see your portfolio dwindling, right? So active income is very important. Some people want to quit and retire, be a full-time investor. But that's the risk, right? Because with no stable income coming in every month, that makes you feel a bit scared. You might want to sell off,
Yeah, exactly right. So, holy crap. You reminded me of a point I wanted to make. Sorry to keep interjecting. I just thought it was like quite useful to share, right? And that is like, I think the concept of becoming a millionaire or like multi-millionaire, whatever number, X dollars that is way overrated, is way overblown out of proportion because a lot of people don't factor in. You're just a net worth millionaire, right? But net worth cannot eat, 不能吃.
Okay.
You know, like, oh yeah, I see, hey, 7 figures in the bag, hey, multi-millionaire, okay, yeah. So, but like, the only way to eat that is to liquidate, right?
Yeah.
But now when the market is down and me being an investor, I know the intrinsic value, whatever, I'm not going to sell at these depressed valuations. So,
it's painful to liquidate.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's stupid to liquidate at this point in time, right? So my point I wanted to make is, I think to kind of give a caveat here, I think everyone who wants to achieve a financial goals, you need a very healthy mix of active income. You need wealth, which to me I define as net worth, right? Wealth, which is like the net worth amount, millionaire, whatever. And you need some sources of passive income as well. So I think it's very important to always have a portfolio that's strong across like all the different. So like for people that are in property, whatever, in the past I used to be like, hey, all these property investors, damn lame lah, property, you can't even like you can't do like a stocks, you double everything and then like so illiquid, stocks I can liquid. But now when I look at it, I realize one thing, hey, you know what? There's of course then the other extreme is I'm sure the property investors look at us and like, you losers, look at you guys now, my property is still intact, it didn't drop by 50%, but you guys dropped by 50%, losers. But like, so you cannot go so extreme, right? But I realized that everything you need to have a balance of both. So active income, I've mentioned that wealth and net worth is what you can do through stock and investments, but everyone also needs some form of like passive income, and that can be through REITs, can be through properties, can be through businesses, whatever, or some of you maybe you have alternative ways of generating passive income from other instruments. But the key thing is because these income streams, hey, they are really what puts food on the table. They are what allows you to pay for your enrichment classes for your son or for your daughter, whatever. Like, so like you need a good mix of wealth, active income from your job or by keeping busy and useful, and passive income from other streams. I think this is what allows you to really weather through, because for the people that I know who are like pure investors, are like they just invest and they live off their investments, quite a number of them are going through stress right now. Some of them are considering going back to the workforce because the net worth cannot eat, right? Cannot eat. And I think if I had that personality to be a full-time investor and like, stop working and like screw this, right? I think I'll be in a very different situation. I might not even want to come for this podcast anymore because I can't speak with confidence, right?
What are you doing with your portfolio right now?
Yeah.
Are you like waiting, dry powder, dollar cost averaging? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm still buying companies. So I don't really do dollar cost average because for me, I come from the very, very investing school. So it's very Buffett. Like I buy when the intrinsic value is higher than the stock price. Or in other words, it's a discount to the intrinsic value. So
do you think I mean, there's a discount now, but has it hit your, do you think it could go lower?
Of course it could, right? So to share, so what I think most investors, now you can relate to this, right? Every month you put in the money and then like the money just goes lower or goes into negative.
I buy the dip and the dip some more.
I'm out of dips, man. Right, but which is very common, right? But so then I think a lot of people are talking, so now everyone should, keep dry powder, keep cash, hold your horses and DCA, whatever. And to me, I think, that works because to me, I really believe in this thing. Investing is more of an emotional activity than an intellectual activity. So any of these, if you are a beginner watching this, I think I'll just give you something, a word of encouragement. Like you don't have to be the smartest analyst in the room. I know many smart analysts, many people who can analyze companies really well, right? But I myself, I dare say I'm not the smartest analyst. I know so many investors who can analyze companies 10 times deeper, faster, better than me. But I think I'm still lucky to cross that million because of my emotional ability to control my emotions. So my point here is this, right? Because it's an emotional activity, if DCA works for you this period, DCA. If holding cash for you works in this period, help you sleep better at night, do that. There's no right or wrong answer. So for me, because the answer now is what am I doing, right? I'm still adding to it as I see discounts come up. And so I add until I got no more money to add because I don't want to touch the 12 months emergency funds, right? And the reason is because of two things, right? And same thing is I'm going to like drink at the temple of Warren Buffett here right now. I'm just share two things. I think Buffett has this saying that if you have a game that you're really good at, which for us is buying stocks at good discount to the value, right? And the game is really good. You don't want to let macro or news or fear of the economy or the interest rates, whatever, affect the way you play the game. You just play the game that you would normally play it for and how you would play it. And then just along the way, as you play the game, along the way, whatever ups and downs, you're still going to win at the game. So you don't want to let that thing affect you, because if you let like all these different things affect you, you're going to have to change the game you're playing. But the problem is that the game that you're so good at playing is already proven to work, right? So why are you going to change the game just because of these macro things? So that's one thing I believe. And number two, which is also from Buffett, for a lot of these, so once again, the caveat here is this is stocks. For good companies, which is stocks, you can only know the what you cannot know the when. So what means if it's a good company, I know that eventually they're going to grow, they're going to hit a certain intrinsic value, and my price is going to be a lot higher, maybe 5 times, 10 times, whatever, higher than what I paid for today. So you know the what, but you cannot know the when. And that's what Buffett says, right? So yeah, it's the same problem here. When will this whole crappy situation in the market end? I don't know, but I'm not here to play the when, I'm here to play the what game. So it's always based on companies, based on the strength of the company, and I invest, and I want to play the game that I've already been proven to myself that, hey, I can play this game and I'm able to do well at this game. So why change my style? Of course, I will evolve as an investor along the way, to be fair, because you want to always stay humble, but why change the game drastically if it works for me so far? Yeah.
So as you're on this journey to share your millionaire story and how you invest, more people are coming up to you, and also you teach people. Yeah, you get exposure to people from different walks of life.
Yeah.
So what would you say? Any last piece of advice to someone who's on this journey towards financial freedom?
I think if you have a job and a good career, and of course I was lucky to have a great bosses and mentors who I love to the moon and back, who have like given me so much opportunities. So if you have a good career, mentors and a boss, double down on that. A lot of people like to say this quote which I really don't believe. They're like, hey, you know what? Don't work so hard at your job, because when the day you die, you're going to get replaced in just one day. So don't give everything you have to the job. But I think for a lot of people, if financial freedom is your goal and your net worth isn't that high to begin with, the job and the career will make a very big difference in the early days, as to how we started this conversation. So if you're a career and you are a high income earner, double down on that, increase the income, because that will really make the second part, which is the investing and the growth and compounding part, a lot easier. That's number one. Secondly, I think, which is what I want to share, I think the millionaire journey, it's really a lot of luck and randomness. And it's back to the story of my friend that humbled me with what she said to me. But I think, yeah, it's so true. I think a lot of people, maybe you look at me or you look at other millionaires who are a lot nicer to look at, and then you're like, oh, I want to be like these guys. You know, there's a formula, there's a playbook. I think I've came to the realization, which I think we went one big round for 1 hour and only to pop the bubble. There isn't a formula, man. There's so much luck and randomness. Like, I think the part that humbled me was I came across another book called Fooled by Randomness by Nassim Taleb. So I'm not going to go into the details of the book, but the essence is that a lot of things we achieve in life, we only see the winners, which is called survivorship bias. We don't see the tons and tons and tons of skeletons in the graveyard. So I asked myself, hey, in an alternate reality, if today I do a Doctor Strange and whatever, multiverse, and I turn back time, another Max Co in alternate reality, and I repeat the same exact steps I repeat, can I achieve the same things I achieved today? I don't know. And I have zero confidence I can do that. Maybe I can achieve 10 times more, or maybe I would end up 10 times lesser, or maybe even worse. Because the fact is, I can repeat the same exact steps down to the carbon photocopy actions, right? But I may not come across the same people at that point in time. I may not come across the same opportunities. The world may be a very different place, the butterfly effect, whatever. So my point is there's so much randomness. So I think if being a millionaire is your goal, or hitting financial freedom, other than the career part, which I just mentioned, go out there and expose yourself to more randomness. So increase the surface area of luck. So a few ways to do that is, of course, number one, you can share your ideas online, be a lighthouse to attract people like-minded people to you. Go out for more networking events, meet more friends, say yes to more things. Don't be a loser like me that says no to everything. And from there, that opens up the opportunities, because how luck happens, it's more of serendipity and randomness. So my point is, you can do all the investing things that I say you should do, and you might not end up anywhere close, because I have good fortune and I've been a receiver of luck, a lot of it in this journey. So that's a very sad thing to say. And they're like, walao, sian. Like, at this point in time, I want to learn how to be a millionaire, writing down notes. And then I'm like,
yeah, I agree. You can follow Warren Buffett's investments, but you won't achieve the same results. Not just because we have different level of resources, right? But because our context is different.
Yeah, exactly.
Our goals are different, right? His goal investing in Berkshire Hathaway is different from your personal goal of your financial journey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think there are two things to summarize, like widen the surface area for luck in your own life, have more opportunities exposed to you. Because the fact is, if somebody ends up working in a startup that goes IPO, hey, you might go from 0 to 100 million without even needing my formula, right? So luck, I think, is more important, and randomness is more important than the formula. And number two, if you have a good career, continue to just double down on it, because I think in the capitalistic world, the capital needed to grow is a lot more important than the vehicle for growth in the early days.
All right. Thank you, Max.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, I hope you've learned something useful today, and I truly appreciate that you took time off to better your life with the financial coconuts. Knowledge is that much more powerful and interesting when shared, debated, and discussed. Join our community Telegram group, follow us on our socials, sign up for our weekly newsletter. Everything is in the description. If you love us and want to help us grow, definitely share the podcast with your friends and on your socials. For more information, check out thefinancialcoconut.com. With that, have a great day ahead, stay tuned next week, and remember, personal finance can be chill, clear, and sustainable for all. So, what has been your best and worst investment? It need not be financial.
Okay, I like it that you put the it need not be financial.
Yeah,
because
tell me Peloton.
what, dude? I was gonna say that. Okay. Wow, you watched the episodes. Great.
I listen and watch all of your episodes,
wonderful.
Google Max Co, TFC. Yeah.
Okay. So I think the best investment I made was when I was in my early 20s. I invested 4 hours of my time to attend this digital marketing workshop where I met my current bosses and mentors, Kelvin and Patricia, who gave me so much opportunities. And I still recall back then long story short, I started my online business when I was very young in army because I didn't want to waste my time in army just playing PSPs and PlayStation Portable because back then you couldn't bring a phone. And I started my online business and I started attending a lot of courses and seminars. But back then I was only 20 years old, not even legal age 21 yet, right? So the day before I attended this seminar, I was so nervous because I was like, hey, everyone at the seminar is going to be like, twice my age.
Adults,
they are 30s, 40s, adults, which is the age I am now. But I'm like only 20s. I felt so scared to go for a seminar. But I was just talking to my mom and she just kind of encouraged me to just go down and check it out. So I went down and I met my current bosses who really gave me serendipity, that opportunity to speak on stage, allow me to have a job that pursued my passion. And I think I owe them so much. And yeah, so that's the best investment of the best 4 hours I ever made. That just opened up the whole new world to building capital, to speaking, and of course, investing came because of that capital base. So that's the best investment I ever made, hands down.
Worst
Yeah.
investment.
Quite frankly, I just keep thinking of Peloton.
check
Worst
out the
investment.
Peloton episode.
Because I think financially that's really the worst investment that I really didn't pace myself. I added too quickly, and that's really my worst financial investment.
Okay. What's one thing that cost you less than $100 that has been a game changer for you?
Well, there are so many things that's less than $100 that have been a
Is it a
game
book?
changer.
I don't know. Give it a book.
Yeah, well,
Product that you
I
bought.
keep thinking of books, but I mean, I don't want to turn this into a book recommendations episode because, I think we're way overrunning. I think less than $100. Okay, it can be anything, right? It doesn't have to be.
Yeah. For me, it's a foam roller.
Okay.
Where you stretch out
Can
your
you
back.
share why? Give me some ideas. Yeah.
I mean, I forgot how much it costs at Decathlon, very cheap.
Yeah.
It relaxes your muscles, It's old age, man. 很酸 it will stretch.
you have young genes, like okay, you don't even
No,
look
the body is,
okay,
reminding
older.
you.
Okay. I think for me, really the best investment is this book that I read when I was a lot younger, and all credit once again, none to me. It's this book called Master Your Mind, Design Your Destiny. It's by Adam Khoo and his co-author named Stuart Tan. And so reading that book, I read it when I was like 15 years old. It's a book on goal setting. There's this school of psychology called NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. But the essence of the book taught me one thing, that a lot of things that you want to achieve in life, you can make progress towards it if you set or you have proper role models and mentors in your life. And that was the book that really made me want to become a millionaire and just start setting goals like Adam Khoo. And so that was really the best investment I ever made that started me on this whole self-help journey and path.
We've had a few book recommendations in this episode. So is there a place that you would recommend that you think is underrated? Can be a book, a podcast, website, where are you learning from?
The Financial Coconut. Okay. But because
We can wrap up here already.
Because you want to end strong.
End
right? You wanna
ready.
strong, Recency effect. Reggie, I hope you're listening to this. Okay. So anyway, please don't cut that out, editor. Okay. So I think the podcast that has been very, very life-changing for me. It doesn't have to be podcast, right?
No,
So-
anything, anywhere that you're learning from that you think is underrated.
Oh, I know. Okay. Can I take my answer?
Yeah. Oh, not
the
TFC
best
anymore.
investment I ever made. I know already.
Okay.
YouTube Premium. Yes, I swear to God. Thanks for making me talk. Then I think yes, $12. I swear to God, it's the best
more
investment
ads.
so far. Okay, no more ads is one thing because for me,
Listen to
I still
the-
like to see ads to know how the marketing world is moving forward, right? But it's
okay.
more like I can listen to 2 hours long videos like TFC, and for me it's business, investing, self-help, whatever, speaking, sales, marketing, on my AirPods, at the gym, everywhere uninterrupted. I can download it onto my phone, the local drive, because so I can listen to it on the plane, whatever, if there's no Wi-Fi. And the amount of growth and lessons I've learned, I think today people, right, if you're complaining that like you have not enough information, you are living under a rock. I think people today fail not because they have like lack of information, it's because they have too much information. So the amount of good podcasts and learnings you can get for free is so amazing. So yes, YouTube Premium.
Yeah, underrated.
Yes,
that answers the question.
$12 there.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
are you tweeting nowadays? Are you busy? Because you tweet a lot of financial stuff.
Yeah. So I'm tweeting a lot less because what happens is in the past few months, I was running the investing course, and then what happens is I wanted to focus more on increasing the active income so that I have more money to buy stocks. So I stopped tweeting. So you can see I'm very practical. I stopped tweeting so often, but I only in the last 1 or 2 weeks started tweeting back again. But I mean, is there a reason you asked that?
Yeah, this is a place where you do your plug.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
all your socials, where to follow you, you know.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, so I think most important, first and foremost, please follow TFC because they are fantastic hosts and an amazing platform for financial learning. I think I was so impressed that they even had James Lim on the show. Oh, you go, man, Reggie. But I think anyway, 2 main places. I think number 1 is Twitter, HeyMaxCo, which is Hey, H-E-Y, M-A-X-K-O-H, and then Instagram or IG, same handle as well, where I'm a lot more active on IG these days. And in the past, I wasn't that active on IG. Share a quick funny story. There was this friend of mine when I asked him, hey, do you have like Facebook or Twitter? I'll add you there. And he laughed at me and said, Max, these days only the boomers use Facebook. Wow, then I was so angry, I decided to go back on my IG and revive the account. So yeah, anyway, I'm on IG and Twitter, Hey MaxCo. Just follow and everything. And of course, more than happy to just catch up and connect online and virtually, whatever.
Follow for investment analysis and cream cheese bun
Yes,
analysis.
cream cheese buns. And I plan to do another one like chocolate eclairs, whatever. But yeah, that's a story for another time.
All
Cool.
right. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you.
Everyone gets AT&T's best deal on the new iPhone 14 Pro with the incredible camera. So, people currently listening to comedy podcasts, and people listening to political podcasts, and people listening to true crime podcasts who actually can't stop listening to true crime podcasts and it's ruling their lives. The point is, everyone, new and existing customers. Ask how to get up to $800 off the new iPhone 14 Pro with eligible trade-in. Visit att.com or our stores for details. Terms and restrictions may apply.